My sister's parting gift to me was the video that killed her. If she'd known that, she wouldn't have let me watch it. She certainly wouldn't have watched it herself. Amelia and I were close. Were only 2 years between us. My little sister was close to turning 20 when it happened, only 5 weeks ago. I don't know how long I have until it happens to me. I know siblings are supposed to fight at some point, even close ones who claim to be best friends, but Amelia and I never did. And it had nothing to do with us being special in some way. We didn't fight because we needed each other. We were always that way. It didn't come down to any one thing. Our deadbeat dad definitely drew us closer together, but our codependency continued after we moved out of his house 2 years ago. And our mother died during childbirth, so we were always blamed by our family members for her passing. I'm skirting around the truth, in all honesty. The key reason for our tight bond was more wretched and disturbing than all of those terrible factors combined. For that matter, I don't know whether those factors had anything to do with our condition. Essentially, starting in our childhood, Amelia and I developed issues with food. Whether driven by genetics or environment, I don't know. The cause is blurry, but the result is all that matters in the end, isn't it? We were never formally diagnosed with anything. Dad didn't believe in head doctors, but I blame myself. Always have. Being the older sister, I must have influenced Amelia, and I'll never forgive myself for that. I did try to stop her from copying me, but I suppose she mustn't have been able to understand why I was telling her to keep eating, only to do exactly the opposite myself. With adulthood came independence. Too much independence, perhaps. Amelia joined the same university as me, and we started living together. We had 2 flatmates, lovely girls who were vaguely aware of our eating issues. And last February, I came home from a lecture to find my younger sister giddily bouncing around her room. Amelia said that she'd finally found a way to kill that craving, as she called it. I remember only fragments of what she told me. I was too focused on her alarmingly bloodshot eyes, though I told myself that the daylight must have been playing tricks on me. Over the years, in my battle against inner demons, I've learnt not to trust my eyes, and throughout the unholy circumstances to follow, that would be my undoing. So many weeks later, the only thing that really persists in my mind is a memory of her face. It wasn't just the eyes, but the mouth. Amelia's laughter was so slight, verging on silence, and her lips trembled, suggesting that behind her breathy giggles, she might be teetering on the precipice of tears. I do, however, remember Amelia telling me about the video responsible for her newfound glow. A video posted by some new age social media influencer, one whose account I didn't find when I searched for it. And I, ever a tetchy elder in a young woman's body, nagged my sister for using that harmful app, lectured her about how it was worsening our shared mental health problem. After all, for months we promised each other that we were going to get better. Countless times, of course, as it's never that easy. "You don't understand, Flora," said Amelia. "I haven't been doom scrolling down social media feeds since this morning, and I won't use them ever again. I don't need them anymore. I don't need those health tips. I don't need those weight loss tips. I don't need any of it." I rolled my eyes. "Wow, you've been on a detox since this morning. That's incredible. Still, as much as I admire your 5-hour break, let's not brand you one of the off-grid girlies just yet. No, I haven't been on my phone at all since this morning, Amelia continued. This did admittedly pique my interest a little. She's an addict. Well, that's slightly more impressive. Okay, I'll give you that, but... I've forgotten the last time you took a break that long. I reckon you still use your phone during your sleep. Exactly. And I'm telling you that it all comes down to this video. I feel different, Flora, my sister insisted, nodding at her computer's monitor. She told us all to put down our phones and follow a website link. So I visited the address and that's how I found this file. My sister pointed at an MP4 file in a folder titled Your Forever Feast, and she sighed contentedly. It could help you too, Flora. You know, help with the cravings. I only watch this video whenever I feel hungry, and the urge just goes away. Then finally came my frown. Goes away. My sister's hand hovered over her mouse, and she said, "Let me show you." But my own hand shot outwards, and I seized Amelia's wrist, stopping her from opening the video. I wasn't even sure why I had such a dramatic reaction. I was basing my worry only on her odd demeanour, and what I assumed to be a Trojan-laden video file. Still, something felt off, so I told my sister I didn't want to watch the video. And I don't want you to watch it again either, I said. In fact, I want you to delete it, okay? I should have made sure that she did so. I might have been able to end all of it before the obsession grew. That evening during dinner I managed to eat half of my soup. Not bad for me. Amelia didn't even attempt her plate on the other hand. Yet my stomach was the only one growling. Amelia, are you okay? I asked. As she had been for hours, my sister was still releasing a series of breathy chuckles through her marginally ajar lips. Happy chuckles, not malicious in any way whatsoever. And there were tears, somewhere between joyous and tortured. They stained her cheeks. Then, without responding to me or even looking in my direction, Amelia took her dish of untouched food to the kitchen, then she went up to her room. She didn't emerge for the rest of the night. Strangely, however, when I went to the toilet around 3 a.m, I noticed a blue glow slipping underneath her door. Something I found a little concerning, given that Amelia, in spite of her mental struggles, has always been one for early nights and early starts. Over the following weeks, Amelia took steps backwards, not forwards. Before that video entered her life, I'd managed to get the two of us to, at the very least, eat a little something at breakfast and dinner time, but that had gone out of the window. And as the days went by, my sister became noticeably frail. Meanwhile, I was eating more. I forced myself to, at the very least, eat a full bowl of cereal each morning. I felt that we couldn't both spiral at the same time. I needed my strength for her. In addition, I hoped to be a role model for Amelia. Hoped she would copy me again. Copy my healthy habits in the same way she'd copied my unhealthy ones. But her daily ritual of watching that video continued, and she was watching it more than once a day. She was barely leaving her room. The girl who left was never the same one who had entered. There was always less of her afterwards. In September, after I'd completed my degree, Amelia moved into a new house. I returned home, hoping our father might be able to knock some sense into her. That was a tall order from him. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, I eventually decided to pay my sister an impromptu visit. She really had, as promised, stopped using social media, choosing to communicate with me via text messages. but by December those had become far too sporadic for my liking. After a week without hearing from my sister, I decided that turning up at her house unannounced was my only recourse. Amelia's housemates wore strangely pale faces, which only exacerbated my anxiety whilst I asked questions about my sister's welfare. One girl said she didn't know much, because she spent most nights at her boyfriend's place. The other said that she hadn't seen Amelia since the Tuesday before, 9 days earlier. The only indication of my sister's presence was that blue, persistent light below her door. I ran upstairs, despite protests from the gaggle of housemates huddling in the lobby. They didn't follow me, however, didn't try to stop me. And now looking back, I think they were scared to do so. There's a lot that comes to mind in retrospect. Their shuddering faces, their stammering answers. Something as banal as an unsociable housemate shouldn't have been enough to fill their eyes with such fear. In fact, one girl's eyes were pooling with tears. Even now, given what I know, I think there were things they didn't tell me. As I stumbled across the unlit landing, a blue glow guided me towards Amelia's room. It spilt through the crack beneath the entrance, but I didn't shout for my sister, didn't knock. I yanked the handle downwards and shoulder rammed the door. However, it was unlocked, and I tripped through to the other side. The room was black. The drapes were drawn. That room's darkness was somehow barely scratched by the blinding blue of Amelia's lit monitor. And the only thing the screen illuminated, save for the carpet leading towards the door, was my sister's chair. My sister was sitting in it, head resting on her desk. My withered sister. My unmoving sister. My ears were ringing, but I must have screamed, mustn't I? Must have screamed at the body, no more than threadbare flesh clinging to a frail skeleton. And worst of all, this wasn't the thing which terrified me. No, what terrified me was that, whilst my sister's upper face had decomposed to reveal her skull's eye sockets, her lower face remained mostly intact. It revealed her lips. She died wearing a smile. She starved to death wearing a smile. I don't know how she rotted so quickly. I don't know many things, and I don't want to know them. Perhaps I would have been haunted by the sight of her corpse for longer, had it not been for a weightier terror drawing my eyes. The terror that prompted me to tell this story in the first place. A video was looping on Amelia's screen. I know that you want to know what I saw, and I'd like to tell you, but it wouldn't mean a thing to you. It has to be seen to be understood. It's more than a video. It's more than a film. More than a tapestry of black and blue pixels, arranged in just the right way to put a wide grin on my face, to take the weight from my body and soul. I don't know who or what made it, but the video is not natural. It is not of this world. I tried to look away, but I found that I couldn't or wouldn't. I became detached from the world, detached from my senses, detached from the screams of Amelia's housemates, detached even from the conversations with paramedics, but not detached from fear. I felt plenty of that. I still feel plenty of that, no matter how widely I smile at my wasting body in the mirror. Much like my late sister, I involuntarily release that breathy laugh throughout the day. That's why I'm so afraid. I don't know what's inside me. I am detached above all else, from hunger. Every day I watch the video, and it fills me